It's been a while since I've done a video, but I'm trying to do something new and they're called overviews. And one of my first overviews was going to be Dishonored, but that didn't work in Borderlands, but that's taken way too long. So we're going to do Dragon Ball FighterZ. And Dragon Ball FighterZ is a fighting game set in the Dragon Ball Z universe and is made by Arc System Works and published by Bandai Namco, and it's cost $60 US. The game has some modes you can play, which is training or practice, arcade, the story mode, casual, and ranked, and local. We will start with the story mode since that's how I always start them. You should know the drill with these anime games and story modes, but if you don't, they would usually be okay or just bad, and FighterZ to me was actually okay. Just like Jump Force, you are fighting evil versions of the characters, and there are 3 arcs, starting with the Super Warrior arc, which you play with the heroes, then you play the Enemy Warrior arc, which you play with the villains, and lastly you play the Android 21 arc, which you play with Android 16 and 8, and later on Android 21. Android 21 is the new character that was made for FighterZ, and the story is not that long. For me, it took about 8 to 9 hours. The only reason it will take the longest is because of how many fights you have to do and how many chapters and maps there are. The Super Warrior arc has 9 chapters and 15 maps. The Enemy arc also has 9 chapters and 13 maps. The 21 arc has 9 chapters and 17 maps. You don't have to play the story mode since you would have all the characters, but you do need to beat it to unlock Android 21 unless you bought the Ultimate Edition or the FighterZ Edition or the Fighter's Pass. I do recommend playing the story mode as you do get a lot of Zenny to get both Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Vegeta, or just pay for them in the store to unlock them straight away. That's all I can really say about the story. Let's talk about the arcade mode. Once you start, you choose your characters, then you choose your course. There are technically 3 courses, which are called the Snake Way course, the Extreme Gravity Spaceship course, and the Hyperbolic Time Chamber course. They have a hard version which you can play right away if you do not like the normal mode. But be careful though, the higher you go, the more damage the computer will do to you. There really is not that much to say about the arcade mode, and the same can be said about local, but you have the player versus CPU and the player versus a person that's next to you. But you also have a tournament mode where you can fight with multiple friends or multiple computer enemies. That's all you can do on local. Now let's talk about the main thing you do on fighting games, which is fight other people unless you're like me and don't play it as much anymore. There are squares that you have, and they represent how you are compared to others. Now you start off with the gray square, which is the starter square, then it is the green square, which is technically the actual starter rank, and then there's the orange rank, and the dark orange square, which is what I am, and then there's the highest rank, which is the pink square, which means to me that you were enjoying this a lot more than me. If you were like me and think that the squares are the ranking systems until you notice that you ranked up and found out there's another ranking system, which is the real ranking system. Then the ranks go from Cybermen to Earthling, Namekian, Saiyan, Frieza Clan, Android, Super Saiyan 2, Supreme Kai, Demon, Super Saiyan 3, Majin, Super Saiyan God, and it goes on all the way up to Zeno. To get to the ranks, you want to either go and play and get better, or like me, practice and copy combos you see on tournaments and replays from the top players, which is actually somewhat useful to me as you can turn on the command history of the players to know how they be doing their combos. If you don't like looking up combos, you can do combo tutorials for all the characters, and if you need to learn the mechanics, you can do battle tutorial. The fighting to me is fun, and you could do some crazy combos, but a lot of them can take a long time to completely do. That's all I can say about the fighting. It's fun, and it's better to learn combos to maximize damage. The main way that you can completely maximize damage is by using sparking. Sparking heals your characters and also makes them do more damage, but the duration can be shortened by doing a level 3 or using it early. Sparking will last longer depending on how many characters you have, as in if you only have 1 character, it will last a lot longer if you have 3 characters. But one more thing I have forgot to say something about is the assist. You can use them to help you, or you can switch out to them. Now don't use them carelessly, as they have their own health bar and that they can be hit when they are in. They can even be put in a combo with you if you are not careful though. But they also can be knocked completely out and unusable for the rest of the match if they have very low health and get hit. Also, you have this thing called blue health that comes back if you use sparking or switch out. But that character can be forced back in by grab, and then the blue health bar will be completely gone. Now I want to talk about what I love the most about this game, which is the graphics. The super anime look I loved way too much. The dramatic finishes and destructive finishes to me look absolutely amazing. But even the character intros look good. The character intros are fun, but if you play online enough you will eventually start to skip them to go straight into the action. The music and themes for this game and characters are good, but some of them I don't like, but you can't really complain. They do kind of suck sometimes. Now let's talk about things I didn't like about this game. A lot of the times when I would go into an offline lobby, the game would crash, and when I would go to an online lobby, the game would randomly disconnect me and send me back to the start screen. Another thing I don't really understand is the Z Union. I guess it's there to show that you like this character, but I never cared, so I never joined one. Something I did and didn't like was the party match and raid battle, as the game would have terrible lag and result in a lot of dropped combos. The last thing I didn't like was the shop, as all I would ever get was a Hercule coins and titles. I know I'm not the best to tell you how the fighting really is, so I have been watching channels that can show you a lot more than me, and my favorite channels to watch is JM Cross and Dato Doya, and I will link their channel in the description, and they can show you a lot of combos and show you what the high ranked players might play like.